Order. At this time, we'll have a roll call.
Director Roberts.
Here.
Assistant Mayor Harris.
Here.
Director Hollibush.
Here.
Director Brewer.
Here.
Directors Jewell and Smith are absent. Mayor Brown.
Here. Before we get to our invocation pledge of allegiance, I want to remind you to silence your cell phones if you have your cell phone with you. If you wish to address the board tonight in citizens communication time, if you'd fill out one of these cards so we have reference of you speaking, that would be beneficial. If you'll get that to the city clerk, she would get that to me. So at this time, we'll stand for our invocation, be given by Director Stephen Hollybush. Our pledge of allegiance will be by our district court clerk, Karen Reed.
Go bow your heads. Lord, thank you for this wonderful day that you bless us with. God, I pray that you would be with us as we conduct the city business. God, thank you for the opportunity that we have to lead the city. And God, I pray that you would give us wisdom as we make decisions on behalf of the citizens. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Karen?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. At this time, we'll move right on into our citizens communication time. The first card I have is Marlon Lineberry, A&P.
Hey, how you guys? I know you saw in the paper, I was quoted in there for me and Mr. Hollybush had a little bit of a thing going over the A&P.
Let me go ahead and set the rules straight, for at least for tonight's meeting that I'm running anyway. We're not going to refer to any director by name. You can refer to him by his ward position or by his or whoever, or any staff member of the city by their position. But I'm not going to allow you to use any names, my name or no names, all right?
Yes, sir.
So we'll keep it civil and, all right?
All right. But the guy, Chairman Ward 3, is that what you say?
Yes.
He had asked another member of the A&P, he'd sabotaged the whole meeting and ended up getting her chair removed. And my whole thing was at the end of the meeting, Director Ward 4 said that what he had done was illegal. And if it was illegal, I'm asking how he can still sit on the board and asking you guys maybe to take a look at what happened and maybe we go through the motions of trying to have him removed.
Well, this is going to be a question for your city attorney there, but in my opinion, there was nothing illegal about the vote. The vote was the vote, and there was not 4 votes to affirm the appointment. So I'm not aware of anything that was conducted at that meeting that I have watched and reviewed. I was not present that's illegal, but that would be for the city attorney to answer something that we have not discussed this prior to the meeting tonight. So do you want to comment, Josh, or?
I haven't seen anything illegal about it.
There were no laws broken or anything that would not ratify what actually took place at that meeting?
Correct.
Well,
That's my understanding.
Well, just to put some light on that subject, in Section 7, where it says that all matters of the bylaws was concerning Texas County A&P promotion and Robert Rules of Order shall be adopted, and those rules shall be a parliamentary procedure. And according to Robert Rules of Order, this means most motions, decisions made when more than half of the votes are cast in that favor. However, the exception as far as the 2/3 votes require particular motions, and that motion was made, and unless there was a takeaway from the closing of the nomination of the polls, it wasn't a tie vote. So a tie vote would be a lost vote because it doesn't represent the majority. The Robert Rules of Order to strike the balance between allowing the majority to decide to protecting the rights of the minority to be heard and participate in the discussion. And that's what we have in Section 7 in our A&P bylaws.
It was my understanding that the appointments take 4 affirmative votes, regardless of whom's present on that commission, and it takes 4 votes, and there were not 4 votes in that favor.
That may be true, but it's not in our A&P bylaws. That's may be the way it's conducted in the past, but through the bylaws I read, I did not see that.
And the bylaws don't cover every possible scenario either. And so the bylaws may need to be amended to address some of these issues as well. But that's at the end. That's for the A and P Commission to decide.
I do agree. That's why I was leaning on Section 7, where it does say that the Robert Rules of Orders shall be adopted as the rules of the parliamentary procedure for A&P.
Anything else?
No, I mean, is it just a normal thing to where you take something that's not on the agenda and then you go like you're in favor of it and you make the motion to keep the person on the board and then you vote against it? Like, is that just a normal thing?
I'm not going to speak to that myself, but for me personally in a meeting, no, it's not, but I'm not going to get into that.
Yes, sir.
And I
Thank you.
do think that was another issue, that it wasn't on the agenda, and we
Meaning
have
her
rules for
appointment
that.
was not on the agenda?
No, it wasn't on the agenda.
So that's all of everybody that's called me and encouraged me to speak up has said it wasn't on the agenda. Ward 3 made the agenda, nominated it, act like he was in favor of it, and then voted it down and struck it. And I think that's where everybody's coming from on this.
I understand.
Well, thank you, guys.
George? Please don't fall.
I'm sorry?
Don't fall.
My name is George Dotson. I'm on the A&P committee. I've attended 3 meetings, and most of you guys have watched, and girls have watched, the meeting where Ward 3 director removed and canceled a contract based on 1 vote. Second meeting, he rescinded his votes, and it was put back. There's no question in my mind, there may be questions elsewhere, but I'm speaking for myself, that he acted, it was premeditated. Obviously, it was premeditated based on what I saw. It was. Can't deny it. It was designed to fail. And what do I mean when I say it was designed to fail? When someone says, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Meredith Mills, one would think that that reappointment would take his vote, and it would be for and not against, in my opinion. But we had 3 yeses and we had a no. Ward 3 voted no. And he said, motion fails, went on to the next thing. It's not right. It may be okay according to the rules, but it's just not right. This is why citizens don't want to participate. Everyone says, that's just the way Texarkana, Arkansas works. Is that really how y'all want to be represented? That is the way, that's the way politics work down here? You know, if he's a representation of this board of directors and he's willing to do it on YouTube where everybody can see what's going on, we question as citizens, as taxpayers, what are y'all doing when the doors are closed? If he's willing to do that, the director of Ward 3, and on YouTube, and let all citizens, his constituents as well, see it, and he's okay with it? My goodness. Well, I mean, where are we? I look at it as he has lied to my face twice in 2 meetings. I can't work with someone like that. I just can't. Actions are a representation of who we are. He said one thing and he did another. So he said one thing, but his actions told us something else. My issue is that he was okay with his actions. That's my issue. He knew the rules. No one else did. He knew what he was doing. He was okay with it. That's the rub with me. He felt like it was an all right thing to do. Not on the agenda, I'm going to bring it up. Wasn't on the agenda, I'm going to say I wanted to be this, and I vote it down. He rescinded his 2 votes only because he was called out, not because he's sorry. Why do I know he's not sorry? He hasn't publicly apologized to anybody. He knows what he did was wrong because he rescinded his vote. Do we have an apology? No, we don't. I think the whole AMP board should get an apology for his actions because I'm a representative of that board and he is on it. Y'all deserve an apology because he's a representation of the board of directors and he's doing this in front of everybody. I request that another board member be put on A&P. I don't know what the rules are. You can probably ask him, okay? I can't work with him. Moving forward at every A&P meeting, I'm going to think he's lying to me because he's already lied to me twice to my face. I've been to 3 meetings. Do you think this is how I want to spend my time? No, it's not. I can volunteer anywhere. This is the first time I've done this because I thought I could do some good. In 2 meetings, we kicked somebody off, we canceled a contract, we reappointed her, and we got the contract back because of Director Ward 3's actions. No one else played a part in this but him. Do I think he'll step down? No, he won't. Bet he will not step down. I'm going to make it my mission to make sure this doesn't die. I just am. It's nothing against you, sir. You owe some people an apology. You really do. You won't do it. That's okay. That's the man you are. It's just a representation of the man who lied to my face twice. You know, I don't agree with your actions, and that's all I have to say.
Mark Luckett.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all allowing me to speak. There's not much more that I can say that hasn't already been said. I'll reiterate what I did say at the beginning of the AMP Commission when I got to speak at that as well. What he did was a travesty to justice and morals. He knew what he was going to do. He set out to do it. He ambushed 2 business people in this town. 1 as an AMP commissioner, 2 as a city board of director, Ward 3. I demand your resignation off of the AMP commission. As far as being Ward 3 director, I'm not going to demand your resignation off of that. Your actions will probably get you removed from that. But, as I said, I demand your resignation off of the AMP Commission. You are not fit to serve on that commission. Probably not fit to serve on the board, but we'll let the voters decide that. Thank you all very much.
Does anybody else wish to address the board tonight? Anybody else wish to address the board tonight in citizens' communication time? Seeing and hearing none, we'll move on into our consent agenda. We have 6 items on our consent agenda tonight. We have item number 1, which is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of July the 7th. Item number 2 is to adopt a resolution reappointing Eric Etheridge to the Public Facilities Board. Item number 3 is to adopt a resolution approving the Texas County Airport Executive Director to sign an FAA Form 5100-100 agreement for transfer of entitlements. Item number 4 is to adopt a resolution approving the Texas County Airport Executive Director to enter into a contract with Blackwood Janitorial Services. Item number 5 is to adopt a resolution to accept the reimbursable non-matching certified local government grant form from the Arkansas Historic Preservation Program in the amount of $12,436.68. And the last item is to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a construction contract with Francis Excavating for the Tennessee Road Rehabilitation Project. What would be the desire of the board for the
I
consent?
make a
agenda?
motion that the consent agenda be accepted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda carries. Moving right along to item number 7 of our regular agenda is to adopt a joint resolution of the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, and the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, approving the extension of number 1 of the 1985 Millwood Water Supply Agreement, authorizing development and implementation of the joint operating protocols for the Millwood system related to joint operation, authorizing preparation of documentation for co-ownership of the Millwood project between the two cities, and establishing an effective date. Tyler?
Thank you. As you all are very well aware, the Texas side and us, both cities, have had a joint venture in treatment and distribution of water for a very long time. In 1985, we entered a contract with the Texas side, which allowed us to issue bonds for construction on the Millwood treatment plant. Those bonds will expire in August of this year, as does that contract. So in order to continue the operations as is, we're proposing this extension, and it'll be good until 2030, and that will just allow us to continue to operate as we are currently. And at that time that the bonds expire, we will give Texas side their interest in which is equal to the portion of the bond that they have paid. Any questions?
Yes.
Could you clarify that, what you mean by interest? I see
Their-
what
their-
interest is,
their
but
share of the
you mean
ownership.
interest of money
Ownership of the
interest
plant.
or
Ownership
ownership of interest
of the treatment.
of the what? Of the treatment plant down on New Boston Road
No, sir. No, the Millwood treatment plant.
or Millwood, okay?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? If not,
I got one more question. Does River Bend have any effect in this, for this agreement while we're doing this?
No, sir. No effect.
Any other questions? If not, I would instruct the city attorney to read the resolution.
A joint resolution of the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, and the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, approving extension number 1 of the 1985 Millwood Water System Agreement, authorizing development and implementation of joint operating protocols for the Millwood system and related joint operations, authorizing preparation of documentation for co-ownership of the Millwood project between the two cities, and establishing an effective date.
The city attorney's read the resolution. What would be the desire of the board?
Second reading, abbreviated form.
It's a joint resolution.
Oh, that's right.
So it's
Just make a
Motion
motion.
to accept, motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the resolution passes. Item number 8 is to adopt an ordinance enacting a new code for the city of Texarkana, Arkansas. Heather?
Well, we've been working on this for a very long time, and what this is the code from 1983. There's a lot of it that's in there that's obsolete. There's a lot of grammatical errors, there's a lot of charting errors, and this just really cleaned it up. There were some minor fee increases for like court costs, for bulk rate items, that kind of thing. And so we'll start with the brand-new code.
Does anybody have any questions for Heather? Also ask for an emergency clause. I would ask the city attorney to read the ordinance in its title form for its first reading.
An ordinance adopting and enacting a new code of ordinances, City of Texarkana, Arkansas, providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not included therein, providing a penalty for the violation thereof, providing for the manner of amending such code, for declaring an emergency, and providing when such code and this ordinance shall become effective.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading?
Second reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
So have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its second reading. Any other discussion? Would you call the roll?
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance adopting and enacting a new code of ordinances, City of Texarkana, Arkansas, providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not included therein, providing a penalty for the violation thereof, providing for the manner of amending such code, for declaring an emergency, and providing when such code and this ordinance shall become effective.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its third and final reading?
Third and final reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to have it read on its third and final reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
No.
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. That's four. That's four votes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this the third time?
Ordinance passes.
Yes.
So we read the ordinance in its third reading in title form.
An ordinance adopting and enacting a new code of ordinances, City of Texarkana, Arkansas, providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not included therein, providing a penalty for the violation thereof, providing for the manner of amending such code, for declaring an emergency, and providing when such code and this ordinance shall become effective.
May I add so? May I?
Yes.
I thought you had to get 5 votes to suspend, make it go to the third read, since you only got 4.
Thought it was 5 on the emergency clause, but I thought it was 4 on an ordinance.
This-
You're
Two-thirds
suspending the rules.
to suspend the rules.
So 2/3 would be 5. We
So
don't have but 4.
You only got 4.
So we'll be on the third reading at the next meeting.
the third reading will be at the next meeting.
So item number 8 for the code for the City of Texarkana, Arkansas's third reading will move to our August 4th agenda. Next is item number 9, to adopt an ordinance transferring administration of the retirement coverage for eligible members of the Texarkana Police Pension and Relief Fund to the Arkansas Local Police and Fire Retirement System, and authorizing the city manager to enter into an irrevocable agreement with LAFI. Tyler?
Yeah, so LOPV completed a evaluation to determine the feasibility of the old police pension plan consolidating with LOPV. The Police Pension Board met in early June and approved the consolidation. And virtually, LOPV will just take over administration of that plan, whereas we'd been doing it before. This would certainly relieve staff and I believe be much better for the plan participants. And as you all know, that plan has been unstable for some time, but thanks to the board's efforts in contributing the additional amounts, LOPV was able to determine that they could take over administration of that plan, thankfully. Now, the only requirement there is that we implement a 3% COLA for those existing plan members. But the important thing here is that it requires no additional contribution above what we are already contributing now. And there is an emergency clause on this. The reason for the emergency clause is we have to have this completed by a certain date. I forget what that date, what date is that? October 31st, okay. And it's going to take quite a bit of time to get all the paperwork together for all the existing plan members in order to make that happen. So we need every bit of time we've got in order to consolidate here at the beginning of the year. And Mr. David Clark with LOPV is here. He could certainly elaborate more on it or answer any questions that you all have, or I can answer any questions if you wish.
Anybody have any questions? Director Harris?
I guess I got a question. May I come to the front? May I have-
Yes, sir.
I didn't want you to come to this board meeting just to come, so. Now, could you tell us a little bit more, what's the bottom line cost? That's the question I would want to know.
Certainly. David Clark, the Executive Director of the Local Police and Fire Retirement System, or LOPV. As Mr. Richards just explained, your current revenue streams with your millage and court fines right now exceeds the calculated employer contribution for the consolidation by a little over $200,000 a year. And it's primarily because of the monies that the city has put in over the years on a dedicated basis. That's really the key behind proper pension plan administration, is make sure that you have revenues that are coming in on a consistent basis. If the city will continue to do that, well, first off, if you approve the consolidation, and then if you will continue those contributions coming in, that's over and above the employer contribution rate. So in other words, just the revenues that you currently have, then that's going to help protect the benefits for all the plan members and actually put the pension plan back on solid footing, which is really the goal for everyone.
What's the annually percentage, I guess, revenue stream? How is it invested, that, and who's the investment fund
Well-
before, and I guess who's going to be in the future?
I'm not sure who's actually handling the assets for the local plan right now, but for LOPI, we have a team of investment managers, an investment consultant, and an investment monitor that handles the assets. LOPI right now has roughly $3.7 billion in assets that are invested, and the pension plan will be able to leverage those investments by consolidating, which is what the fire pension plan did back in 2017. The city approved the consolidation of that plan at that time, and that plan now is at just a little over 100% funded.
You might mention that this also relieves our city staff of the reporting requirements and the paperwork and stuff to administer the plan. which is
Yes, sir.
big.
It does significantly.
And the 31st deadline, that's to have, the board approval and to have every participant, all the paperwork done for everybody and be on the new plan.
Yeah, the primary thing for the October 31st deadline is that we actually have your approved ordinance, the administrative services agreement that Mr. Richard would execute if you approve this, and then we'll begin the asset transfer and the collection of the data. That's going to take us probably a little past October 31st for those other items, but the plan is to go ahead and have LOPI begin benefit payments on January 1.
Gotcha.
So it's just a clean break from one year to the next.
There wouldn't be any type of penalty for the participants or anything like that.
No, sir, not at all.
Is there an increased number of participants?
No,
Or
no,
how's
sir.
that
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you
No,
there.
go ahead.
Is that, I understand that the number that we had when we did the evaluation was 35, and I understand there has been a few people that have passed away, so that number is less than 35.
Okay.
It will never increase because the
Right.
plan is closed to new entrants.
Okay, it's closed. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Director Harris, you had a question about return, and I've got here that the lot fee returns have been about 2% higher than the local police pension plan.
Remind the board, this is an ordinance to pass tonight. It would have to be read 3 times, and they have asked for an emergency clause. I would instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance in its title form for its first reading.
An ordinance transferring administration of retirement coverage for eligible members of the Texarkana Police and Relief Fund to the Arkansas Local and Fire Retirement System, and authorizing the city manager to enter into an irrevocable agreement with LOPFI to declare an emergency and for other purposes.
So the ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading?
Second reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading. Any other discussion? Would you call the roll?
Director Roberts?
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris?
Yes.
Director Hollibush?
Yes.
Director Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Smith, Brown?
Yes.
Yes.
An ordinance transferring administration of retirement coverage for eligible members of the Texarkana Police Pension and Relief Fund to the Arkansas Local Police and Fire Retirement System, and authorizing the city manager to enter into an irrevocable agreement with LOPFI to declare an emergency and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. The desire to have it read on its third and final reading.
Third and final reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second for third reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Roberts?
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris?
Yes.
Director Hollibush?
Yes.
Director Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes.
An ordinance transferring administration of retirement coverage for eligible members of the Texarkana Police Pension and Relief Fund to the Arkansas Local Police and Fire Retirement System, and authorizing the city manager to enter into an irrevocable agreement with Lopfeet to declare an emergency and for other purposes.
The ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. I hear a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Seeing and hearing none, could you call a roll?
Director Roberts?
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris?
Yes.
Director Hollybush?
Yes.
Director Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes. And the ordinance is adopted. What would be the desire of the board to attach an emergency clause?
Your Mayor, move that we approve the emergency clause.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second to attach an emergency clause. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Roberts?
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris?
Yes.
Director Hollybush?
Yes.
Director Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, an emergency clause is attached. Moving on to our last item on our regular agenda tonight is item number 10, to adopt an ordinance to collect fees for out-of-state sex offender restraints. Registrants, Chief Eddie Chataway. Chief?
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Directors. I'm here today to be in compliance with Arkansas state law, ask y'all to approve this ordinance so we can start collecting fees for out-of-state sex offenders who come to move into Arkansas and/or work in Arkansas. It's state law that the two fees are collected is $250 each. One's for a DNA database and one's for the sex offender database. It helps manage those two databases.
You might just mention too about where the money goes.
The money goes to the state of Arkansas. There's no monetary gain to Arkansas, to the city. To the city. It all goes to the state of Arkansas, to the DNA fund and the sex offender fund.
Chief, I got a question. I'm not an attorney, so you're going to have to help me with this one. But I've read this 12-12906 today and 12-1119 on the registration. Why can we not attach a processing fee for the city? I mean, this goes through 5 or 6 hands when it gets to the police department.
I would love to if we could.
I mean, because it doesn't have anything in there where we can't. And I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with attaching a $100 bill to it and
To be paid for by the registrant.
by the registrant. I mean,
But do other cities do that?
Process.
Not to my knowledge. I haven't researched that part. I do not know that.
We can look into that. I know this language, these statutes we cite, they have to do it by state statute. So we can look into that, an administration processing fee or something like
Yeah.
that. I'll look and see if any other cities do that.
Josh, we could still approve this and then come back after the fact
Yeah.
and tack on.
Okay.
I would
y'all
think
let
so.
us know about it.
Get us
We
in
can add
compliance.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Any other questions for Chief? I'll remind the board, this is an ordinance to pass tonight. It would need to be read 3 times. I'll instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance in its title form for its first reading.
I guess I'm going to
Yes.
ask city
All right.
attorney a question. You trying to tell me if we don't pass this, we can't collect the money, if it's a state law?
It's required by state statute.
Okay.
I think the purpose of this is to, we attempted to pass an ordinance for new code of ordinances. It just makes, to establish the procedure of doing so.
Yes.
They remit the $250, they hold it, and they send it to the appropriate agency who deposits it in their account.
But the question I'm getting at, if you got a state law saying that you gonna have to do something, it just say if I go back the other way, just say if you have a state law that tell a person that got that the maximum you can charge a food truck, say for instance, $250, but yet, we gonna charge a food truck to operate $500, say for instance. Now that, and I done read somewhere that our dues cannot exceed what state law give this board. So the board would have to get that authority from state law to do something. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong.
Well,
You're
I
talking about
mean,
collecting the additional
I'm
fee?
just saying anything.
I would think that this is basically an oversight, that we should have been collecting and charging this fee by state law all along, and we've not been. So we've not been collecting this fee, so all we're doing is adhering to state statutes and passing an ordinance to collect it.
and it establishes who it is paid to.
Yeah,
the-
yes.
the
It has nothing to do with
administrative
us. It goes to DNA is where it goes.
assistant. And that,
Wasn't this like 2003 or 2008? I
Well,
mean,
the
it's,
DNA was 1998,
so it's been a
and
minute.
sex offender was 2019.
Oh, yeah, it's been a minute, okay.
But I'm just trying to ask a question in the realms of the law, so that's, did you answer that? Did you answer that?
well, I don't think I heard the question that well. So let's use this, for example. So an out-of-state sex offender wants to come live in Texarkana, Arkansas, they have to pay $250 for one part, $250 for the DNA part. Are you asking why we couldn't just charge them $750 and send the $250 to each one and keep the $250?
No, what I'm asking is that if you have a state law that's saying you got to do something, do you really need a board thing to do something that if you already got a state law in place?
Yeah, right. We don't have ordinances to establish procedure on everything. And some you don't need to, right?
Well, I bring up the cat issue. We got a state law, we got an ordinance, you got to have a cat on the lease. You know?
Well, the purpose of this ordinance is to establish the procedure that this city does.
Okay.
And so everybody else, yes, we should have been doing it, but now, if you follow Section 1, Section 2, it shall be paid upon their registration to the front desk administrative assistant, and the police department is to transfer that money to the appropriate agency.
It's
So
more
it's just-
teeth
it
to
makes it
collect it.
cleaner.
It makes it cleaner, and it's more teeth to collect, and it could discourage them from moving here. One of the reasons. I mean, that's one
Well,
of the, I'm looking
adding
at.
that additional fee, if we can do
Yeah.
that, sure might keep them from moving here.
Any other questions? Thanks, Chief. I'll remind the board, this is a ordinance to pass tonight. It would need to be read 3 times. I'll instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance in its title form for first reading.
An ordinance establishing procedures for the Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department to collect and distribute sex offender-related fees for declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading?
Second reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its second reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance establishing procedures for the Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department to collect and distribute sex offender-related fees for declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its third and final reading?
Third and final reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for third reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance establishing procedures for the Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department to collect and distribute sex offender-related fees for declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
The ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. A desire to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Seeing and hearing none, could you call the roll?
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown,
Yes. And the ordinance is adopted. The staff has asked for an emergency clause. What would be the desire to attach an emergency clause?
Motion to attach the emergency clause.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown,
Yes, and the emergency clause is attached. No other items on our regular agenda. At this time, we'll move in Board of Directors commentary. Is there any board member that wishes to address the board or audience tonight? Any? Anybody?
Yes,
Okay.
I have
Director
something, I was trying to see.
All right.
I know about 2 or 3 meetings ago, I think I stated that there was gonna be a tax sale by the Arkansas Land Commission on the 19th. I gave the wrong date. It's the 29th, which will be at 10 o'clock at the Arkansas Convention Center. And I have my list again that I've been getting to the city manager every board meeting. The only thing I would say that the pothole list have getting smaller for Ward 2, but that drainage is still stopped up on near 88, on Seaver Street. The manhole still stopped up, and you basically said that you weren't gonna fix that other manhole, even though it happened during the flood. And then still the drainage issue a year ago from Fairview and Mitchell Street. I haven't heard nothing about that. And like I said, I got about 10 items on here. And then I haven't had no response from the city manager about the housing consultant. You know, even though we did met the possibility that the person, I don't want to call her name out, about I guess a month or 2 ago, and I did email the city manager and ask him what's the status of that, and I've been giving him these, and I asked him the status of that. And then I know, Mayor, you wasn't here that day when they brought up about they gonna send an application to the Arkansas State Department Park and Recreation about they were gonna basically remove England Pool and put I guess something they can sit out on or something. But somebody had asked me, they got a concrete business, and he wanted to try to buy the pool and want to fix it up. Want to try to repair it. So, but he got a concrete business, and I emailed the city manager in regards to that. And I said the city have sold some property that they feel whatever, because the old fire station, when I brought this up, you wasn't here, it was the old fire station on Ferguson Street, that it was sold when the fire department, I don't remember what year it was, felt that it was unused and too much to fix or whatever, but it was sold to a guy for $5,000. I know I was on the board at the time. I ain't trying to say that you don't sell the England Pool for $5,000, but I don't see, based on, from what I'm hearing from the city manager, he's saying that it's gonna cost almost $1 million to get that fixed. And based on the response I got from actual people that fix it, I just feel that the city is not gonna want to get involved in that. But if you use the criteria, safety, welfare, and what is it? I'm trying to think, what was that thing that the city always use? They do something in the best interest of the safety and the welfare of the community. Well, you can sell that based on the safety and the welfare of the community, because I'm trying to, I gonna say this now, that I don't know if y'all know, I put it like this, nobody at England Pool had never drowned as far as I'm aware of when it was in operation. Nobody. Now, one person may have injured himself diving off the high diving board, but that was removed. And if the city basically want to tear it down, and what they gonna tear down and put there, I don't see how they're gonna benefit the children of the community and the children of the and the reason why it was put there, from my understanding, and basically the information that I have gathered, that now, I know he been asking me to meet with him, but that's the kind of meeting I would have asked, did you want to sit and meet with the other person that's trying to buy the food, just to meet with you, just to make you think that if you're gonna change your opinion of me, I think that's a waste of time. If that's the case, if that's what he's trying to meet with me for, but I would have meet with him something worthwhile, something goal setting, and that is trying to see, can somebody with the city want to sell the pool, because you're not gonna do nothing with it. You're talking about tearing it down, and and it could be as a historical landmark. And I had a card, but I don't have that card with me. But and I am gonna say this, that 64% of black or African American people don't know how to swim. I was gonna have a card, and I guess if we're gonna use the race card, I'm not trying to, but that's why I'm gonna have a card. I forgot, I couldn't find that card. And then it said that 9 out of that most of the African American drown a year than any other race from lack of swimming. So, and that's, I'm just saying, it was a card I had got that from the national.
That had those statistics
had
on
those
it?
statistics on it. And so I don't have that card with me, but I bring that card back. But I'm saying that, and then if you look at the legal and the history behind that pool, like I said, it was named after Dr. England. He was the first dentist in Texas County, first black dentist in Texas County, Arkansas. So from what I was told, and then that's where they named England and Force after it too. But when I stated all this, I know you weren't present at the time. And like I said, and for what the city planned, and like I said, most of I would say, like the big fence was around there, when the city removed that big fence, that's when the damage occurred, when they called themselves filling it in. And I still see there's hope, and I still see there's hope because I can still see the life it may save, around Texas County. So, and abroad. So, like I said, that's what I learned to swim by it. So, and I guess I haven't really put that on the agenda yet because I would think it would be best if I'm trying to get him, our city manager, to look in there and see how would it benefit the resident by the city getting rid of the pool, not owning the swimming pool no more. And like I said, this person that was trying to buy it, he got a concrete business, so I don't see his lack of, and I'm not gonna call his name out, but I would just have him to contact Tyler. He would contact me because he knows I did by two videos on put it on Facebook, and I know the last time I had it averaged about 9K visitors, 9,000 people looking at it. So that I think there is the interest in it. I think it is the interest, and I think it could save people's lives. Just like I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be quiet. Just like the old Union School. Now the police bought the old Union School, I guess, for training, and I'm assuming that they bought that Union School on the idea of what happened in Dallas. Not Dallas, but in South Texas. That they went in the classroom, when the guy went in the classroom and shot the school and killed a lot of youth. And I'm assuming they said they were using that as a training facility so they can train the police on how that incident ever happened again. Well, look at the swimming pool again. That swimming pool can save life if the city don't want to have nothing to do with it and get it to somebody that does, and it will save life. So look at that criteria from that standpoint. That's all I got to say.
Anyone else?
Looking through my notes here, I want to take this time also to thank Tyler and the staff, because in Ward 4, I have seen a decrease, I have seen the progress of those potholes, and I'm seeing your crews out there making it happen. So, leak and everything recorded. I just want to say thanks for that. And also to let Ward 4 know that all the limbs have been picked up. And if the limbs, you do see some limbs out there that still haven't been picked up, just give me a call, 870-571-6125. And again, I want to thank SWEPCO for doing all those trimmings, because those calls have decreased tremendously there in my ward. That's all I have.
Anything else? Just a clarification for Heather and for Josh. We discussed this the last time we had a commission appointment, that technically a resolution is not required to appoint someone to a commission. We could simply do that in an executive session minutes where there's a motion and a second to appoint that person, and then there's a vote. so you don't have to read some resolution, have to get a motion and a second for somebody to appoint it, and then you have a resolution to have to get a vote on. We could simply just make in executive session, we could have separate minutes or an attachment to our regular minutes to appoint them,
You have to have a voice vote.
a voice vote, but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
we can record this in minute form and not in a resolution.
You just make a motion.
Just make a motion and yay or nay, so. We don't have to read my point is, we don't have to read a
You just-
resolution every
I don't have to
time.
read this whole thing to
Yeah.
get the appointment.
Right, okay. All right, any other discussion? No. All right. At this time, we'll excuse our guests. We'll go into executive session to consider a reappointment to the Advertising and Promotion Commission.